Hello friends, I haven't done a video in almost a week, so I'm gonna do one now. Where we had left off, I told you all about how me and Jay had moved into Olympic View Mobile Manor, the mobile home park over in Olalla, and I was, pregnant with our first child, a boy. Um, and it's crazy though, for some reason, we were still, traveling across the Narrows Bridge going back into Tacoma for my prenatal visits. And ultimately, I did end up giving birth at St. Clair Hospital over in Lakewood. And like 2 weeks, maybe three after I had given birth, they shut that maternity ward down. They don't have one at St. Clair anymore at all. So let me think. Okay, I already told you about my brother-in-law coming into my house telling me that I need to get a job, and I was about ready to give birth, and how my husband, once again said nothing, just sat there on the couch like he, didn't even know what was going on. Okay, let's fast forward. We had the baby. I had the baby June 12th, 2003. So funny how, he was there with me during the entire thing, and then my mom shows up. And because she's got some, serious mental and emotional problems, like I said, instead of being there in the room with us while I'm pushing, she's hiding behind the curtain talking about, "Oh, Deborah, you can do it. You'll be all right." Yeah, she's one of these people who trips over everything. Sees a couple people kissing and she'll close her eyes or put her hands up over her eyes, which I thought was just bizarre and, made absolutely no sense to me. But, it is what it is. Okay, so, after I had the baby, I was still on welfare. Jay, once again, he still didn't get a job or want to get a job. In fact, when we ended up going back down to the welfare office with the baby, DSHS, they were telling him, "Oh yeah, you can get you can get benefits too. You can get cash too and food stamps and blah blah blah. But you gotta participate in this Work First program, right?" So and like I had said, I didn't have a driver's license. He was the one that had the license. He had the car. So for the most part, me and the baby were like stranded, at the house, all the time while he was out, doing whatever he was doing. So, he was participating in Work First, which he was going over to the DSHS office over in West Bremerton, Washington. While I'd stay home and do the best I could to take care of the baby. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a horrible new mother. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and it didn't help, hearing all the insults and all the negativity from his side of the family, which they, presented to me in spade. I mean, they didn't care. They just kept on, saying, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. Everything you do is wrong, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, okay, whatever. So Jay was doing, his, Work First, and unbeknownst to me, while he was going there, a girl that he had dated in middle school was going there too. So long story short, they got together and he decided to start cheating on me, right? Now, me being naive, I was like naive to the max, didn't think that, he would ever do anything like that to me, blah, 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 it's all good. Well, I remember one time when our baby was like, a couple of months old, he disappeared with the paycheck because he ended up getting some part-time work or whatever. So he ended up disappearing with the paycheck despite the fact that the baby needed formula and diapers. He disappeared. I didn't see him for like a day and a half, 2 days. And he was telling me, "Oh, I ended up having to get a motel by myself because the anniversary of my mom's death came up and I just couldn't handle it, so I needed to be alone." Well, long story short, while I'm at the mobile home stranded with my baby, Jay had rented a motel room in Bremerton with C, which is the girl that he was dating back in middle school. So he's cheating on me with her at the motel. So I ended up finding out, I mean, I don't want to bore you with the details, but all I know, and the one thing that to this day makes me so freaking angry, is the fact that when I found out, he blamed me, said it was my fault that he's cheating on me, despite all the things I did for him, despite the fact I was ignoring what everybody else said about him, because they said he was trash. Don't even waste your time. You're way too good for it. So I lowered my standards, and, for somebody like that, only to have him stab me in the back, the only way that could have been worse for me is if he had left me for another dude. Like, for real. So what ends up happening is he decides to kick me and our baby son out onto the street. That's after I've helped him pay for this mobile home and move the woman into my house that he's cheating on me with. So I ended up having to move with the baby back to East Tacoma to my childhood house and moving, back in with my mom, right? But what makes me the angriest is the fact that I was begging for him not to leave me. He's like, oh, Jeremy, oh, Jay, don't leave me. You know what I mean? And, ignore the name I just said. But seriously, ladies, don't ever feel that you have to beg for some loser to stay with you when he's the one doing you dirty. You gotta think more of yourself. You're worth so much more than that. And now, me being 44 years old, I look back on that and it makes me want to vomit. I mean, there was never anything wrong with me. I was just fine. There was something wrong with the dude. Because normal, decent human beings don't go around doing people dirty like that. At all. I mean, we all mess up. I'm no saint. I've messed up too. Really bad. And you'll hear about it as my videos progress. I ain't no saint. But I do realize that I have value. And yes, I've done things that are bad in the past, but I always ask for forgiveness from God and from the people that I've offended. It's just almost unbelievable, So we're forced to pack up our stuff. And I was driven back to my mom's house by, one of his family members, or my sister-in-law, A, who's married to K, which is Jay's older brother, So I ended up having to go back to Tacoma with the baby. At that time, our baby was he was 6 months old. So, it just was horrible. And it was around, the holidays, so that made things worse. And it was just awful. And I felt like I was just, that was just the worst pain that I was ever going to feel. And I just didn't know how I was going to survive all that pain. And I think, honestly, for the most part, I was obviously overreacting. Because there ain't no dude on this planet, ladies, that's worth you feeling like you're going to die because he ran off down the street with somebody else. And also, like I said, now, looking back on that, having been in addiction, that's clearly what was wrong with him and her. Turns out, I found out later on that she was heavy into meth. But that's another story. But with him, his behavior patterns, the lack of hygiene, the lack of self-care, dude never wanted to bathe, at all. I mean, he would brush his teeth maybe once every 3 months, whether he needed it or not. I mean, I've never seen anything like it up until I became an addict and was running the streets. Then all of a sudden, this bizarre behavior made sense. And, now I gotta go. I'm tired and my stomach feels funny. Thank you all for listening to my rant. I appreciate you guys watching my channel, watching my videos, and please like and subscribe, but only if you want to. God bless you all. Take it easy, and you're worth so much more than you think you are. Bye.